aboard because Newleaf has come to town. Hi and welcome to Tabletop Gaming. My name is Charlie and today we are taking a look at this. This is Everdell Newleaf, and if you've seen this channel for a while you'll know that I am incredibly excited for this to be here. For a little context, if you've just stumbled upon this video, Everdell is a series of games. Now we have our base game, which is Everdell itself, and then we have had a number of expansions over the while. We've had Pearlbrook, we've had Belfair, we've had Spirecrest, and then culminating last year with a huge Kickstarter that involved this, Everdell Newleaf. We also have Everdell Mistwood and a complete collection. Today though, I'm super excited because we're going to take a look at Newleaf and see what that adds to the game. Now, as you can see, this is still shiny new. We've got some plastic to remove to take our very first look at it. So you'll join me on seeing what's inside. We'll talk about what we're expecting to see, what sort of comes out of it, and what difference to gameplay it might make. Now, worth noting, of course, that this is an expansion, so you do have to have Everdell in order to play. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Everdell is one of my favourite games, I'm not afraid to admit, and it is one that I would recommend generally as a good game to sort of pull the people that want to get into gaming and don't know where to start into, because it has all the cutesy and sort of things to put you at ease whilst giving you a really fun game. Then you start levelling it up, you start buying more expansions, you start getting into it, and you end up here at Newleaf. Everdell is known for the Evertree, so basically critters come up beneath the Evertree from Everfrost to Belsong in order to create a beautiful little city and area and sort of home for themselves, and you do that by placing cards, by choosing where your critters are going to go, but accompanied by a number of beautiful meeples. Now you then start sort of building that up, and you may have seen too the sort of image of the tree, which is really bringing the board out. I'll try and find an image for you to show you what that looks like, but as you expand you start taking up new areas, so your board gets rather huge. This expands into the final area. This is of course Newleaf, and what it does is it gives us a system of getting elsewhere. So this is a train that you can take to other areas, which opens up a whole new world. But we begin as we usually would with an instruction booklet. It is beautifully small for this type of game, which I'm very pleased with, because if you've seen any previous videos you'll know I am a big fan of a small rule book, and to be fair, a lot of it is semi-large text, quite good images, plenty to be getting on with, so that's exciting. There is also, you may have seen me remove these are sort of the pamphlets to let you know that Everdell Digital exists, and there are other games by Tabletop Tycoon that could be worth checking out. We've got a couple of videos for those on our channel as well, so you should definitely take a look through, or do maybe a Tabletop Tycoon collection. But enough of that, let's take a look inside. So first of all, we have a ton of new tokens. So I'm immediately most excited by these. These are rail tickets by the look of things, so it's an outbound ticket valid from winter until year's end. How cute is that? And then once you flip it over, which it says you should flip over once used, you can then discard once used. So you have your outbound and your inbound ticket simply by flipping those over. Marvellous. Now elsewhere on that you have things like different locations as well. You'll be used to seeing those in a pattern of how expansions sort of work, and if you've played any of the Everdell expansions before, I imagine this already, I'm like, oh, I know that that would go here and that would go here, so you'll pick up quite quickly where to put stuff, and if not, there's the instruction book of course. Now, the board itself fits. You'll see that it's got this beautiful curve to it. That's because it sits on the side of the full version. Now, with expansions as they are, they do recommend sort of playing maybe one at a time, but you can chuck as many together as you want to, really, because who's going to judge? And it is a monumental game when you decide to put all of the expansions into one. It's a lot to think about. I have tried it. I perhaps wouldn't recommend it. I'd say maybe pick 2 at most. But for the full effect of how beautiful that board is, chuck them all together, just see what happens. Anyway, let's take a look at what we've got in terms of this board. So we're looking nice with some extra location bits on there. There's that train we were talking about, and the tracks that follow as well. So looking rather good. It is nice and simple. There's not too much extra to it in terms of physicality, but I like that it's going to sit with the board anyway, so even if it didn't necessarily need to be as big as this, it sits beautifully with the board, so that's what I'm cool with. Inside the box, if I just show you how this is laid out, we're quite nicely set up in terms of space and what's available, and let's see what we've got. So we have, oh, look at that. Look at how nice that is. It's the E for Everdell, one would assume, as a random draw bag. Very nice. One of the things I love about Everdell is how much it really looks at the details. So art is so important in this game. We also have what looks like wax seals. That's very cool. I'm going to just show you what these look like. And we have 6 of those, which sort of matches player count, so that's not too unsurprising. Then we have our sets of cards. So the smaller pack, you have this as its cover, but it blends in, of course. So you have your different types there. And you've got the cute little critters, and you've also got the little houses there. So to give you an example of some of the stuff in here, we have our extra bits. So we have Quinn Clear Whisker, at least 6 critters and 6 constructions in your city for a potential 6-point bonus. Nice. We've got Butterbell Sweet Paw, very cute, who is at least 15 cards in your city. Again for another 6 points, and there's quite a few of those. They all have adorable names, they all have adorable little artwork. Look at Piff, look at Piff. So really nice and cute, and sort of gets you smiling before you've even started. The other side of that are your ones that give you sort of some extra, so 10 cards in the city will give you those. If I allow you to pause if there's anything in there that you want to see. We've got some extra options to pick up bits and bobs, so you can use that for 4 twigs. And we have our people, so we've got snails and bats and cats and honeybees. Let's look at the honeybees because they're super cute, super smiley. Now, don't forget about those. We're going to come back to them in a second because, of course, you're here for the meeples. So we'll show you those in just a moment. But before I do, I will just give you an idea of the cards that we're adding in because these are always beautiful to see. I think the art is done by Andrew Bosley, if I've said that correctly, and he does a beautiful job at making these absolutely stunning with all your new bits and bobs that you can do. Look at that library, how lovely is that? So these are what you'll be adding into your own build. So this is what you're going to have in front of you as the tableau that you're building to gain your points, to sort of get as much as you can. And of course there are new ones which are easy to tell because there is a tiny little icon in the bottom that just tells you which set it's from, which is the same on the other expansions as well, so you can get an idea of what's in there. The biggie, of course, being the train itself, of which there are 2 in the pack, and you also just look at how cute this guy is. How very suave. Okay, so after all that, the time has come. We are going to take a look at the meeples. Now, if I just show you, this is the sort of colourful bags that we're starting with. So these ones are our extra colours to expand the game itself. So it means that you can add players into previous expansions without missing out. But the big exciting bit, let's be honest, are the new ones. So I mentioned those honeybees. There's a honeybee, look at that. We have those, of course, in multiple different colours. So we also have purple, for example. I'll show you the purple in the snail. Isn't he funky? I'm looking for the bat. Where's the bat? There he is. How cool is he? It just sort of demystifies games. You're not looking at things going, and is that supposed to be, okay, well that's a starship and that's a whatever. It's like, these are cute little critters and I want to show you the little meeples I have for them. And there too is our final. And there too is our cat. So overall, we're actually adding quite a lot into the game. We've got sort of bigger, better ways to play. We've got a whole load of cards to add into our deck to go through that will make a big difference to the game. And we've got the fact that we can actually use a railway, which is very, very cool, to then send everybody off, collect cool things and come back. Because why should you be trapped just under the Evertree when there are whole lands to explore? Now, around the time of the Kickstarter, they released a map which will show you roughly where that is and how far away it takes you, which I think is very cool and is worth seeking out. Now, I can't wait to dive into this because I've been waiting eagerly since the Kickstarter for this to arrive, so I'm looking forward to getting in and playing with friends. But of course, this is not the only one. Mistwood came out as well, and there is also a shiny complete collection to cast an eye on. And if you're interested in those as much as I am, you should definitely check out our channel to see more on those. Now, like a good little critter, I'm going to scuttle off, I'm going to play these, and I want to hear your thoughts. Have you got your hands on your copy? What did you think to it? Where do you rank it in terms of other games? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. But for now, I will say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for Tabletop Tycoon for sponsoring this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Do like and subscribe for more, and check back for more Everdell content. Have a great day.